God bless you, my brothers and sisters. This is Pastor Gadson of A.F. Gadson Ministries and the senior pastor of the St. Peter Baptist Church, 7110 Bay Street, Elko, South Carolina. And this is Pastor Gadson's Nightcap for Saturday, February the 20th, 2016. Listen, Psalms 118:5, New Living Translation says, "In my distress I prayed to the Lord, and the Lord answered me and set me free." Look, he didn't just answer my call. He didn't just answer my plea. He then set me free. King James Version says he answered me and set me in a large place. And I know your question would be, what do you mean a large place? Well, a quick word study would reveal that in my distress can actually be rendered out of the straightness. The question then becomes, what do you mean out of the straightness? In other words, well, let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. Have you ever felt pressed? It would seem on every side. Seemed like the world was closing in on you, surrounded you were by suffering and or sorrow. Seemed like the world just kept closing in on you and getting tighter and tighter and tighter, to the point that you could hardly move. You could scarcely breathe. It was something everywhere. Problems or trouble or sorrow appeared to be at every turn. It seemed like no matter which way you went, you ran into a problem. And if you've ever been there, then you know what I'm talking about when I say you were in a straight place. There was trouble on every hand. Old folk used to say, if it ain't one thing, it's another. My mama used to say, if it ain't one thing, it's two or three or four, all coming at you at the same time. In other words, it's not just raining, it's pouring. And I know somebody knows what I'm talking about. You've lived long enough to experience times when it seemed like troubles, trials, and tribulation, or sorrow, suffering, and sadness, they were so disrespectful. They wouldn't even come at you one by one. It was like they all wanted to gang up on you at the same time. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Can anyone echo me when I said just seemed like you had to be troubled, and you had to be sad, and you had to deal with trials all at the same time? You could mitigate them a little better if they'd come one by one, but they didn't even have enough respect for your peace of mind to come one by one. They just came all at one time. It wasn't raining, it was pouring. You understand what I mean now when I talk about being in a straight place. But I've got good news for the ones that don't know, and I ought to be able to get a witness from the ones that already know. If you cry, or if you've already been there, when you cried, he took you out of that straight place, out of that tight spot you were in, and put you in a large place. In other words, he set you free. I guess what I'm really saying to you tonight is, in spite of what you've gone through, in spite of what you've had to deal with, look, the good news is you're still here. You didn't get stuck in it. You made your way through it. Look, there's a song that says, been through the storm and rain, but I made it. I've suffered heartache and pain, but ooh, I made it. My heart's been made to bleed, but I made it, yes, hallelujah. And I could stay there a minute, because how many of you know that's the highest praise? Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Ooh, I made it. Somebody say, yeah. I'm through tonight. Look, instead of complaining about what you've been through, why not take a moment and thank the one that brought you through? God bless you. Good night.